Yeah. Right, the final bit. This is about new retail and cashierless stores, which is not so easy to say. I want to welcome on stage the keynote speaker. He's the Group Chief of Innovation, Group Chief Innovation Officer, at Casino. Cyril Bourgois, please join me on stage. Now, before you start, I've got a couple of questions for you. So you're having a dinner party, right? What's your signature dish?
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu?
Yeah.
What ground coffee do you use? Any?
No special coffee.
Just
no
instant?
special coffee, no, just instant coffee.
Okay. Right, who's your favorite sports person?
Roger Federer.
Roger Federer.
And I'm going to see him tomorrow.
Are you?
If it's not raining, yeah.
Okay. And what do you wish you'd invented?
I'd wish I invented, let's say, Uber.
That's a good shout. That's a very good shout. They were here earlier. Right, and final thing, what advice would you give to yourself when you were 16?
Enjoy.
Enjoy life. Yeah. Great. Enjoy your presentation.
Thank you. Okay, so cashierless. Right. First of all, this is something that we all hear about every day, and this is the dream retailers have been pursuing for years. So and when I say for years, I'm going to show you a short movie as an introduction. That was shown by our brand Monoprix. As there is no, can you hear it? I'm sorry. This is an advertising.
Couper la file, c'est dans la nature humaine depuis la nuit des temps. Heureusement, l'homme a évolué. Maintenant, il a une application pour ça. Scannez et payez directement sur votre téléphone sans passer par la caisse avec le service coupe-file Monoprix.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the French at the end, but it means cut the line has been in the head of everyone from the very beginning of the world. So you don't need to be as clever as this to cut the line. You just need to use the Monoprix app so that you will be able to cut the line. So checkout is a major pain point for both customers and distributors. Waiting time, higher than 5 minutes, discourage customers to stay or even enter stores, according to studies made in 2017. Work legislation on traditional stores employees forces retailers to offer limited opening hours that do not fit customers' expectations anymore. And customers increasingly willing to know how much they will pay before checking out, such as on the internet. And that leads to my second point, which is the rise of e-commerce that reinforced the visibility of this specific pain points. I mean, queuing and checkout. New expectations emerged with the rise of e-commerce. Be able to shop at any time. Monitor expenses before paying. Pay in 2 clicks, even 1 click. This is the famous one-click buy by Amazon. Be delivered in 30 minutes, even late, and be delivered late at night, and collect products at the shop without checking out. So with the rise of e-commerce, traditional stores were forced to adapt very quickly to new trends and new expectations from customers. So, without being as clever as the guy we saw on the movie, we focused our innovation on, I would say, on 3 main innovations. First one is a bit old now. It's vending machines. But we are currently seeing giant vending machines, so automated stores with few references, up to 500 SKUs. Second is Just Walk Out. This is the Amazon Go experience, so a new generation of stores based on computer vision. And the third one is much more simple to deploy. It's adapting existing stores, so from the shop and go to the scan and go, and I will come to it later. So the first one I wanted to mention, because we always forget about it, but those are the giant vending machines. This is a small French startup that is called Ximity. And the key features are automated stores with 500 SKUs. So you can have whatever, like not whatever you need, but some very specific needs. It's open 24/7, of course, and you just need an app to order in advance, and it offers you a click and collect possibility. Second one, which is by far the most technologically speaking hard, is the Just Walk Out. The first to launch something was Amazon, of course, with the amazing Amazon Go experience. But from then, we saw other brands, other technologies emerging. So I mentioned Auchan Minute, but also iFi, Zipin, lots of other. We will talk about Storelift a bit later. The idea is that based on computer vision and sensors, you can identify the person and the products this person is taking so that he can go out without going through a self-checkout. In the case of Amazon, you're going to have the Amazon Go app to identify customers, and then you have no scanning of items needed, and you can go out of the store. Third thing, and this is, I think, the most easy and the thing that we are seeing right now pretty much everywhere, especially at Casino, is the adaptation of existing stores. And I just gave 2 examples. The first one is the shop and go. Shop and go is an experience where you will shop in the store, leave the cart to an employee, the employee will scan the products for you, and then the products will be delivered to you at home, and you will pay at home. So this is the complete reverse way. You will shop in a store, and then you will be delivered at home. The other way to do this, to adapt existing stores by scan and go, and Walmart was the first to test scan and go 1.5 years ago, and we deployed this at Monoprix and our brand Casino, and the idea is that the client will bring his own device, will scan the products with his phone, he pays directly within the app, and then he can exit the store instantly without going through the checkout. This is what we did in one of our iconic stores, which is Le 4 Casino, just close to the Champs-Élysées. And thanks to the technology, which is quite simple, we can open 24 hours the store without having any human operating the store. So this is both simple and completely new as an experience for the customer, since he can shop almost any time with a wide range of products, which is very different from the giant vending machine. limited to 500 SKUs, and which is very different from the Amazon Go experience, since you will have typically 300 to 400 SKU. So with this kind of technology, you can do a full basket, which is quite different. To finish my presentation, I will show you a short video to show you how it works concretely. Perhaps you have had the opportunity to use it already. But this said, it does not mean that we are not working on more advanced technologies for the future to be able to open 24/7 to open automated stores. But as far as I know, and for the next few years, automated stores will remain quite small stores with a limited number of SKUs, since computer vision requires a lot of computing capacities and is still very costly. So to finish my presentation, I will just show you a short video of this specific store, Le 4 Casino, with exit gates, with no human, no checkout. You just have to scan your products, pay in app, and go out. I'm sorry. Sorry. This is supposed to be a video, I think. The video. So have you seen? We can stop. So as you can see on the video, the guy just have to use an app, scan the products, and then he can go through an exit gate showing his code. The thing is that we need to master a certain kind of control. So we do a statistic control. We score the clients, and we control only few of them. And then if we identify you as a good customer, then you will be less. You will get an higher score and be less control. So the main issue when you talk about cashierless, there are two main issues. The first one is human contact, because we have lots of customers that still want to have some human contact when they come to the store, and this is very important to some of our customers. The second one is control, since of course you want to achieve cashierless without having too much theft in your store. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce Sonia Dowsett for the last plenary, because of the excitement of the awards, we forgot to actually announce next year's venue. Can you run the video, please? There you go. Amsterdam, on the 10th and 11th of June. So you've got my permission to get those dates, stick it in your diaries right now. Okay, right, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the panel, Sonia, Dowsett, and our three panelists. Thank you.
Great. Well, let's get cracking. Kevin, Beijing-based self-driving delivery vehicles, Neolix. Would you like to show us your presentation? We'd be delighted to see it. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and those who left earlier. You missed the best plenary. We are Neolix, an autonomous vehicle company. Our driverless car has two meanings. We don't need a driver, and we don't carry people on it. So we only focus on commercial use only. From 2013 to 2019, the daily package in China has increased in 8 times, from 1.5 million per day to from 26 million per day to 200 million per day. But the delivery demand only increased from 1.5 million to 2.4 million. One delivery man in China hand over 120 packages per day, and their efficiency reached the end. There's an estimate number in 2025, China will hit 1 billion packages per day. But can you imagine 20 million delivery men on the street? So the increasing demands have to be fulfilled by automatic method. That's why we carry out our small product. We want to starting from the highest density scenario, starting in enclosed areas such as campus, parks, and industrial parks. What we said about large delivery is not about dozens of vehicles. We're talking about thousands. This is how we define our product. This is a forward design autonomous vehicle for last mile purpose, with 1 meter wide, same as a tricycle, and 2.4 cubic meter container, same as a microvan. Commercial vehicles has variety of use cases. So we bring out our service store idea. We have some examples downstairs with freight, with petrol, with parcel locker, and we also make vending machines. This page shows how a service store works. The upper body can be changed easily, from a vending machine to a parcel locker. This one is a real peak of our chassis. Our chassis is automotive grade, and all the autonomous part is integrated in the chassis. For commercial use vehicles, we don't want it to be working for 8 hours and go back charging for another 8 hours. So we build our own battery assembling factory. We provide the battery swap system. One swap only takes 30 seconds and gives you 100 kilometers mile range. For product delivery, we don't want one of our autonomous algorithms to be the best, but we need a matrix of ability. So we choose relatively mature technologies. We're using LiDARs, visual recognition, RTK localization, automotive-grade radars, and so on. Apart from our algorithm, we have to solve the mass production problem. So in our factory, we focus on autonomous validation, testing, calibration, and deployment to large scale of delivery. When traditionally you buy a normal car, they give you a car key. For our vehicles, we give you a username and password. You can see from the LV platform where your vehicle on the map and what's their detailed conditions, and your fleet management, which one needs to go back to swap the battery. And the traditional car manufacturer has 80% procedure related to human being. We like to say they are making a sofa on 4 wheels, but we are making a large computer on 4 wheels. So the 80% of the procedure is different. A vehicle that is modified to be autonomous can only be a demo. So we are now producing the forward engineering vehicles. And this manufacturer has the ability to produce 10,000 vehicles per year. Once the customer places an order, you will receive the vehicle in 8 weeks. This is a use case for logistic purpose, and we are also the member of Alibaba Tofeng program. This is another use case for vending machine. We have operating for 322 days without any stop. The incomes for this vehicle, we received averagely 500 euros per vehicle per day. And the highest number hit 1,000 euro in a festival day. The human visual perception determines that dynamic contents capture more people's attention than the still items. So the vending service will always chase the heat and find where the people want it the most. Let's see a video. This is our factory. and the battery assembling line. You can call our vehicle from the mobile app, and the vehicle will come to you, and you just wave your hand to stop it. And you scan the QR code, you finish the payment. By now, we have deployed 150 vehicles in China now. And for 2019, we're going to deliver 1,000 vehicles to our customer. Thanks for your attention. And we are Neolix. We are the future on wheels.
Thank you, Gavin. Now I'd like to introduce David from Storelift, which is a Paris-based image recognition software startup.
Excellent. Thank you. Hi, everyone. So my name is David Gabai. I'm the co-founder of Storelift. You all know that we now live in a mobile economy. Using your smartphone, you can rent an office for a few hours. You can rent an hotel room on the other side of the world in 1 minute and order a product and getting it delivered in maybe 1 or 2 hours. The micromobility revolution is one of the best examples. Electric scooters and bikes have reduced dependence from automobiles for short distance, which are increasing in terms of your volumes. What it means for retail, and this is what Storelift is tackling. Mobile consumers are replicating the exact same pattern of micromobility in retail. They are multiplying the store format they visit, they are reducing the time they spend in the store, and they are reducing the basket size. So the question is, how can we bring retail at the closest of each and everyone, just as the electric scooter and bikes has done for the transportation? And this is our vision at Storelift. We believe that every area deserves access to smart and affordable retail. So this is why we've created the Storebox, which is the fusion of a vending machine and a food store, which is a container-style module of 15 square meters, fully equipped with shelves, cameras, sensors, and fridges, to offer an enriched commercial offer in living areas in which you cannot find anything more than a vending machine. Gas stations, hospitals, universities, even parking lots in residential communities. You have to know that, for example, in France, 30% of the population lives at more than 3 kilometers of the first store. So this is a strategic facility for the hosting space. First, for the retailer, because he can customize the offer for a micro population by targeting at the granularity of e-commerce and mutualizing resources to optimize the supply chain. It's AI-powered, thanks to our computer vision technology that I'm going to explain. So it's scalable because it's fully standardized. The store is always the same. You can replicate it everywhere. That's also direct access to customers for brands because you are reaching consumers during strategic moments of their lives. It can then become for brands a strategic customer acquisition channel. And it's 100% ready to use. Why? Because we provide the store from hardware to software, an exchange of investment fee, and a full service monthly fee. So the brick and mortar retail is being commoditized, and you only, as a retailer, has to provide the service, the thing that customer has to be is looking for when he's going to your brand, which is the good offer and fidelity. The payback is very quick, and you can address a new market. Our vision is that the technology must disappear in the store using computer vision. The process is very simple. You have to register in a mobile app by providing your banking info. At the entrance of the store, you scan the QR code you have been provided, and then we are going to match your shape and global appearance with this banking info. This way, we can then recognize you in the store, recognize each and every product you are going to seize, such in the exact same way as an e-commerce website. When you add to cart some product, taking product from the shelf is going to be add to cart. Then you can leave the store and you are charged automatically. The market opportunity is tremendous. Why? Because we believe that with this new era of stores, retail is able to create a whole new segment of the retail, which is what we've called the micro retail. The micro retail is the combination of the convenience, the fair price, reasonable cost, which is something which is very hard in food retail, and a good amount of choice, because in a vending machine, for example, you will have, let's say, 30 to 40 SKUs, whereas in our store, you can have 200 to 500 SKUs. Even so, Stéphane, I've been inspired by your last article about food logistics. There is an impossible triangle in logistics. How can I deliver a 1% margin product, which is the average margin in food retail, at a good price and a convenient way? Today, it's just simply impossible. I think that maybe even Cyril will or not confirm me. But we believe that with this kind of micro distribution point, you can make the fusion between the targeting you could have with e-commerce by addressing only micro population, but also mutualize resources into a single micro distribution point, and then have a supply chain which is at profit. And that's it. Thank you.
Very much indeed. Great, take a seat. So Kevin and David were both looking at how you're sort of bringing the products to the consumer, the mobile unit. But first of all, I'd like to go back to our keynote speaker, Cyril, and looking at how these very high-tech environments that we saw on your videos. We had people going in, scanning, no shop assistants around. What's the feedback you're getting of customers? Do they like this kind of environment, or are they embracing it?
It really depends on customers. First of all, one figure. We deployed the technology in more than 300 stores. In some stores, it can account for more than 10% of the sales of the store. The scan and go, the people doing the scan and go. So it's quite huge already. What we hear from customers, from some customers, is that human contact is really important to them. So I think, and I really believe that there is some room for very specific tailor-made retail, as we saw. So like giant vending machines in specific areas. But what we see is a fragmentation of the consumption. So people are gonna sometimes do shopping online and get delivered home. They will sometimes go in micro stores. They will sometimes go in hypermarkets or malls to do their shopping. And we need to adapt and to offer them the widest possible range of solutions to do their shopping. But one thing is really key, that human contact for some people will remain key. It's what we get from our customers. So in a way or another. So it's not necessarily human contact at the cashier, at the checkout. It can be human contact within the store, advices that you want to get. We're going to have a mix between food like food courts, stores, and you're gonna need to have, in a way, some contact. And this is not, I think, like we see e-commerce players giving a lot of interest into physical stores, and there is a reason for it, I think.
What kind of products in particular lend themselves to that cashierless experience? Is it snacks, convenience, foods?
Almost everything, because of course, but this is David's part. We can. This is easy. This is easier to recognize. I would say packaged products than fresh products. But there are some ways to recognize fresh products as well. So I would say that at the first stage, packaged products, either dry products or fresh products, will be the one that are going to be sold in kind of micro stores, as we saw. But there is no reason why we are not able to sell as well food or not packaged products in a cashierless way.
Kevin, when you started, we were talking earlier about how you started up in closed areas. You started these vending machines in closed areas like Chinese university campuses, correct? What do you find, what kind of products sell well in these vending machines? What sort of products are you putting in them?
That's very interesting because we are an autonomous vehicle company while we're in this plenary. For the starter, we haven't thought the retail business is going to be one of our major service. So, but we bring out some demos, and one of them is basically a theme park. So it carries on drinks and snacks and also souvenirs. So from 300 days operation, the number just surprised us. And we kind of recollect the cost of the vehicle in 6 months and starting make all the perfect from now on.
And are you constantly revising those products that go in the vending machine? Is that responding to what customers are asking for? How do you get that feedback?
So we got a system that can manage what kind of items selling best at what time. We got 4 divisions: where, what, and when, and who. So our vehicles can, in the morning at 8 o'clock, it may bring breakfast to an entrance of the office. And from the 8 o'clock until 12 o'clock, we can sell in coffee, snacks, and drinks. And before 12 o'clock, our vehicles will fulfill with a bento box, with a lunch box inside, and waiting for the people who come out to office. So in 24 hours, we have different use cases for the customer. And the vehicle also chasing the heat, find out where the people want it the most.
And where are you restocking? Is there a part, I mean, is what happens? Trucks come to the self-delivery little robo-van, or how does that work?
That's even interesting. Our vehicles we got an algorithm. If the stock lower than 10%, it will go back automatically to the storage planet, to a storage cargo or whatever. So in a closed campus, we only need 1 storage place, and we can have 10 vehicles, and it will automatically go back to do the refill. And one person in the storage can manage 10 vehicles. And each of our vehicles is same like a 2.5 square meter store. So 10 of the vehicle plus is like 25 square meter store.
But you still need an actual human to pack them. Have you not got robots to pack them?
We haven't done that part yet.
Is that something you're going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably in the future, when next year we be stronger in retail business, so we may do that.
Next year, well, that's a short time frame. David, looking at privacy issues, a lot of this software, when you go in and you're getting the, there has to be some kind of recognition there. How are you going to charge me for it? I noticed that your startup makes very clear on its website that you do not use facial recognition. When you work with potential clients, is that a big issue, privacy?
Yeah, so we are working right now with 2 retailers in Europe, and it's always like the second subject. But the first one is, does your store actually work? Okay. The second point is it GDPR compliant? That's always like 40% of the time, and the cooperation is about GDPR. Because it's a demand that comes from their own customers. I mean, it's not only about regulation. Of course, that's also about that. But they have, I think that even one retailer told me that he got a message from a customer because someone in the store was taking photos, and he said, okay, I don't want to, who is this guy? I don't want to be in the photo, etc. So that's a very, very important concern for the customers. So that's why our deep learning models only consider the global shape of the customers with multiple factors. You cannot even know as a human how many factors the algorithm is going to consider to recognize a person. So that's 100% anonymous, and we don't keep in memory the factors we got during the journey. It's because if the day after, maybe you are going to wear something else, maybe your haircut is going to be different. So the signature is going to be different. We are not going to be able to associate it with your previous journey in terms of images, but of course, in terms of basket, we'll be able because it's always the same shopper account.
But this is a major concern of so
100%.
And you have to get that right from the start, right from when you start working with that client and developing the product.
Exactly. By design, we have to. So basically, we have to we share with our clients. We transmit to them the term of use, the privacy policy, and we have technical audit of our algorithms. And that's crucial for customers. Yeah.
Cyril, we have two young companies. They're new. They have no legacy. They're going straight into the sector as no baggage. What's it like for an established player to change what you already have and adapt to this new environment?
Well, I think this is a huge challenge that we are all facing. Groupe Casino is more than 100 years old. We've been the first group to launch the modern hypermarket. We've invented the private label. So we've invented so many things in the past few years, and I think that we are still inventing things. We are more and more working with young startups to be able to go faster. And I'm very, my teams had discussions with David. I'm very interested in a Neolix solution. That's also why I'm here today. So we are both trying to become more and more tech players in the environment. The largest retailers in the world today are Amazon and Alibaba, and this is not a surprise to me that they are tech players. They are platform players. So we need to transform to become tech players, so to have our own proprietary platforms, but we also need to be really connected to the environment to make sure that we can connect to everybody. I'll give you some example. Monoprix, which is one of our iconic French brands, is now selling products on Amazon. So we did a partnership with Amazon because this is one of the platforms that the customers want to be able to shop at, so we needed to connect to them.
So collaboration is important.
Collaboration, open innovation is very important, and we are all the time trying to identify the best startups to work with and to launch new products. The thing that we're now trying to do is leveraging on our current assets, I mean physical stores, traffic, audience. Just to give you some idea, we at Groupe Casino are able to touch, we have a touch point with more than 2/3 of the French population every year. Cdiscount, which is our e-commerce player, has 20 million unique visitors every month on its website. So this is a huge asset, and we're trying to leverage on this.
Mm-hmm. Kevin, if we look to, you have your vending machines that are traveling around, bringing items to the consumer. That works well in a closed environment. What about if you take away the geofence and let them go out into the city, out into densely populated areas? Do you have to work closely with city councils and city governments to make this a reality? How does that, can you tell us about your experiences with that?
That's a very interesting question. In China, we talked to the central government, and we asked, said, do we need a license to go on the street? And they asked us, what kind of license should I give you? Carrying people, small vehicles license or truck license? So there's too early to license to the autonomous vehicle go onto the street. But in China, for the local government, they always welcome the innovation program, like the autonomous and artificial intelligence, to come to their local province. So we got pretty good. In China, we got in 14 provinces have our deployed vehicles today. And we're also going to have one of our vehicles deployed in Europe in this August.
What about problems with transporting food as opposed to items? Do you have to take into account, you know, keeping the cold chain, these issues, you know, which could amount to food safety issues if you break the cold chain? How do you adapt to that?
Our solution is we don't charge the vehicle, so we just swap the battery. So we can put extra battery on the upper body. So we built a refrigerator, get heat minus 18 degrees for the cold chain. And for the food security, we got the single locker door for each of the food package for the different customers. That's not a really difficult problem for us.
Very interesting. David, how does that apply to you with your technology? How do you take into account the whole food safety issue?
Well, so the organization of our logistic is very particular. So as Cyril said, the existing retailer has today stores, which can be for the few years strategic logistic assets. So how do we organize the logistic is by furnishing our micro stores with bigger store of our customers, and we become a kind of satellite of this store. And we enable the retailer to expand their market share in the micro proximity sector. So the cold chain is not really an issue in the sense that the distances are very short. We are hacking this chain. The cold chain is very difficult when you have long distance. But for short distance, it's not something very difficult. And the real point is about the rotation in the store, whether or not you want to have a good part of your references, which are with very short, how do you call that?
Dates.
Dates, yeah, very short dates. So in our case, the cold chain is very hard to manage in the store and not in the distance between the warehouse and the store. So here, the thing is that we have to collect data just to know what product is selling at what rotation, and then we have to adapt the offer. But the store is not big, so we can adapt very easily.
You can adapt that easily.
Yeah.
David, I have another question for you, which is a bit more of a broader question. I mean, I've been walking around talking to different startups over these last 2 days, and it seems to be that they're no longer thinking about coming up with a mission statement. This is what we make. I mean, I referred to your webpage, and you were like, oh, no, that's changed. And I was thinking, as a startup now, you have to be flexible, right? You have to say that you're working in a space, you get a potential client, and then you work with that client to find a solution. It's not coming with a product ready-made. It's about making it on the run. Is that true?
That's true. So for the story, 1 year ago, we launched Storelift only on the idea to provide an analytics company. So we wanted to connect to the existing cameras of our clients and to provide them analytics about conversion rate, heat map, etc. Because me and my partner, we were from the advertising industry, in which you can track everything. And we thought that it could be interesting in the real world to have this kind of data. So it was last year, and we thought that we were revolutionizing the world, etc. The thing is that for, let's say, 10 years from now, there are some startups working on that. So the market is existing, and the value was very hard to demonstrate to our customer and to get a price on it so that we can make money. So we had to pivot. We said, okay, our solution doesn't have the product market fit, but computer vision and retail today, from the retailer we spoke with, was always about Amazon Go, Amazon Go, Amazon Go. So we said, okay, let's try to add a layer of product detection on our tracking existing technology, and let's try to provide an Amazon Go technology. So we made some development. At the same time, we were meeting retailers. So Casino was one of them. And we met also other retailers. And we got we felt this interest into microstore kind of. The thing is that the retailers, they didn't want to provide cashierless just to provide cashierless. They wanted to create a new usage. And I think that a new usage, a new segment, a new market, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we iterate continuously. And at the end, we had our great partnership, which is still confidential today, in this regarding this store box, and then we'll be able to expand this model for other countries, other retailers, etc.
So it's flexibility,
yes,
and learning
always.
as you go along, and interchanging of data.
Always.
That's a lesson for us all. I want to really thank our panel. Very, very interesting. Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, guys. Okay, that's it. So I'd like to formally close Deliver 2019. Thank you all for staying and enjoying this last panel discussion. 10th and 11th of June, Amsterdam, we go again, right? Wish you all a very safe journey home, wherever it is you're going to. I won't wrap up, I think Ernst did a fantastic summarizing of the last 2 days, and hopefully we'll see all of you in Amsterdam next year. Safe journey home. The coaches are outside. Don't leave anything behind. Safe journey. Cheers. Thank you.